Creflo Dollar confesses that his teachings on tithing were in error. Stay tuned. God bless you, friends. Thank you for joining me on Morning Nuggets. I pray that this video finds you exceptionally well. This is yours truly, Pastor Nate, and as always, it is my absolute pleasure every time I get an opportunity to come and speak with you. Creflo Dollar says all my teachings on tithing was wrong. It was an error. Ooh, friend. Whoa, my God, have mercy. Creflo is a mega pastor down in the Atlanta, Georgia area. I like some of his teachings. A lot of mega preachers I listen to, but I'm able to eat the meat and spit the bones out, as my grandmother would say. I don't take everything they say. That don't mean I don't like them. Of course, I would expect for you to do that to me too. If I'm saying something that's not in alignment, you take what's the truth, and what you feel like is not the truth, it may require you to do further research. And that's what I do with most preachers that I like. So Creflo tells the world that his teachings on tithing was wrong. Now, Benny Hinn did this a couple years ago, and he confessed after so many years of taking the people's money and telling them that tithing is required of you, 30 to 40 years later, you see the truth and you said it's not required. After you've built your empire, after you got the people's money to get these nice buildings and houses and cars, and got you to a point where your life is luxurious, give them their money back then. See, y'all don't like that kind of teaching. All these years you've been beating the people down saying tithing is required. Now 40 years later, 30 years later, you want to say it's not. Give them their money back. Friend, I want you to listen to what Creflo has to say.
The teachings that I've shared in times past on the subject of tithing were not correct. I will say that I have no shame at all at saying to you, throw away every book, every tape, and every video I ever did on the subject of tithing.
Now, I did maybe a 4 or 5 part teaching on tithing. You might want to go check that out. The scripture tells us how to give. When they gave tithing, they gave under the law, and that was required. God doesn't want us to give where we feel like we have to give, and it talks about that in the scripture. Paul tells us to be a cheerful giver. I give because I love to give. I love God. Now, a lot of churches do adopt the 10% tithing model, and that's not really correct, because there was more to tithing than that. There were multiple parts to tithing that pastors don't tell you about. They just tell you the 10%. But at any rate, I won't get into that. I love to give, but don't just limit me to 10%. If I have more than 10% to give, I'm going to give unto the Lord, and I'm going to give cheerfully. Friend, let me tell you, if you're being beat down in the tithing and you're giving out of fear because you're scared you're going to go to hell, or you're afraid that God's going to curse you, that's not being a cheerful giver. That's been a fearful giver. See, preachers don't like this kind of teaching. Listen, if you're a pastor and you need money for a building, just ask the people, hey, I need money for this. We're trying to raise this. Can you give for this? Don't tell me I'm going to hell if I don't give, because no, I'm not giving cheerfully. I'm giving fearfully. And that's what these preachers are doing. And now some of them are finding out that they were teaching in error. Now, a lot of churches do have in the bylaws that if you don't tithe, you can't be in leadership, you don't give money. I understand that, and that's fine. Churches, pastors, that's your choice. If you want to put that in the laws that you got to tithe, okay, I understand that, and I'll give. If I want to be a part of your church, I'll abide by that. But don't tell me that I have to give, because God really don't want it when I give out of fear. Let me know your thoughts. Leave your comments. In the meantime, be at peace and not in pieces. Till next time.